Hello and welcome to New Hope for Today. My name is Pastor Andrew Hise, and I'm the pastor of New Hope Friends Church in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Something that my wife and I started very early on in our parenting of our son is something that we call take a deep breath. So the way this works is anytime Ezra, our son, is having a rough time, he's feeling very frustrated or overwhelmed, maybe even angry, and he's not using his words to tell us what is going on and how he's feeling. He's rather using actions or screaming or just not talking at all. We tell him stop and take a deep breath and then continue, and you can see how this might calm him down. In fact, these type of breathing exercises are very prevalent in the world of stress relief and that sort of thing. If you were to type into Google right now, take a deep breath or breathing exercises, you would find all kinds of things, and they're all related back to helping with stress in our life, helping with hard things in our life. And so maybe you're somebody that does this. You take a deep breath anytime you need to face something difficult or you are in the midst of something hard. And so I think what we're instilling in Ezra is going to be something that's very important later on in life. And it got me to thinking, why is this that we associate taking a deep breath with something that could calm us down? Well, I think one of the things maybe it's just very practical is we're causing ourselves to stop and think about something that we don't think about normally during the day. I mean, we take hundreds of breaths during the day, and we never think about them at all, except for right now. Now that I'm talking about it, you're thinking very conscious of your breathing, but we normally don't think about it, and so it's something that we are slowing down, stopping ourselves, and thinking about something that's very easy to do. And taking that deep breath, I think sometimes, it's even called a cleansing breath. You're breathing in the negative and breathing it back out, or whatever that is. Very new agey stuff. But I'm not so much interested in that. I just think it's very interesting that we would talk about breathing in this way, because in the scriptures, breath is all over the place. But I think one of the most important things that we associate breath with in the scriptures happens in Genesis chapter 1. When man was created, God actually stooped down, it tells us, and breathed into the nostrils of Adam and Eve his breath. He breathed that life into them, and it says man becomes a living soul. And so there's something special about this creation that's different than all the other creation. Man and woman, mankind is an image bearer, has some spark of God in them. That's what we say. But the thing is, I think we all understand that breath is associated with life, and God was literally breathing life into man and woman in the beginning. But something that we rarely talk about is not the only thing that God breathed out in the scriptures. In fact, as I was doing our Bible reading plan, I came across a very famous passage in 2 Timothy chapter 3, and it goes like this: all scripture is breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness, that the man of God may be competent, equipped for every good work. So not only did God breathe into man and make him a living soul, God breathed out his scripture. This is a very important thing to think about. God, what it implies is that the scripture, the Bible, as we know it, is a living thing. It's something that has soul, and it's something that has a part of God, a spark of God in it. And so, as we maybe deal with stress, as we are going through a rough time, something to think about is maybe we need to stop, take a deep breath, and look to the scripture, this God-breathed scripture. It tells us here that it can deal with a lot of different things in our life, that the scripture that's breathed out by God, it's profitable for a couple of things. It's profitable for teaching. That means we can learn something. You feel like you don't know a whole lot, you can go to scripture and learn something. It also tells us it's profitable for reproof. This is the same exact word that's used in Hebrews 11, chapter 11, verse 1, that is translated conviction. So today, if you're struggling with your faith, you're struggling with, is God real? Is God there? The scriptures are profitable for helping give us conviction, give us a solid thing to stand on. It also tells us it's good for correction. Maybe today we need to stop for a second before we lash out in anger and go to the scriptures so that it can correct us. And finally, it tells us that it's good for training in righteousness. What does this mean? It's the idea of doing right. And so maybe today we need to stop and think about what's right. So whatever you're doing right now, I encourage you to stop, take a deep breath, and go to the God-inspired, God-breathed-out word. And I think you'll find that whatever your problem was, whatever your stress was, will simply vanish with the very breath that you breathe out. New Hope for Today is a video devotional released on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is recorded by Pastor Andrew Hise of New Hope Friends Church. New Hope Friends Church is located in Goldsboro, North Carolina at 4451 U.S. Highway 70 East. New Hope for Today. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow.